Today, we'll be displaying Back4app records in a drop-down button widget in Flutter. Hi, I'm Alex, the architect from Back4app, and this is Talking to the Architect. And today, we'll be answering llDullahanll's question. He asked in Brazilian Portuguese how to retrieve records from Back4app and display in a drop-down button widget in Flutter. Hello, Dullahan. Thank you so much for your question, and I'm showing how to do that today. So here I have a brand new Back4app application that I created, and I created a class named person with two properties. So name, which is a string, and I have three names, and age, which is a number, and I have three ages. And we'll be displaying the names of these persons in our drop-down button widget. So here in my Visual Studio, the first thing I have to do is to create a list so I can hold those results. We'll do that by typing list. This will be a parse object list, and I'm going to call this drop down items equals parse object, and this will be for now a empty list. Now I have to create a code that will retrieve the results from the class to my front end, and this must be a asynchronous method because it will make asynchronous calls from inside it. So void read data async, and now I'll try to create an object that retrieves all the objects from the class to my front end. If you want to use operators and filter up the results that you're retrieving, you could use a parse query instead, but today I'm interested in getting all the objects at once. So we'll do that by typing var API response equals await, because this is an asynchronous call, parse object dot parentheses, then my class name, which is person, dot get all. This will retrieve once again all the records from my class. Now I have to check if this was successful, which means it has no errors when trying to execute. So if API response dot success, so it occurred without any errors, then I'm going to loop through those results. So for var my object in API response dot result, and I'm going to print out to my console those values. So debug print object, and then I'm getting the names of those objects to my console. So my object dot get is how you read properties. Then I have to specify the data type that I'm reading, in this case is a string, and then the property name, which is also name. Then I'm going to get this object and put it inside my drop-down items list, so my widget will read this list later. So drop-down items dot add and my object. Now after the loop I have to set the state so my widgets will read all the new data. We'll do that by typing set state, and we're not actually doing anything inside here, just setting the state, and this should be good to go. Now here in my init state I'm going to call this method so it will get executed. So read data, we're going to paste it in here, and it is now time for us to set our widget. We're going to put it inside here. So I created this small sized box so I have some space between the app bar, which reads drop down button, and then our real content, which will be a drop down button, which will get string. And inside here we have to put our items, so items, and we're going to map the list that we have, so this code will get executed for every single item, creating the drop-down menu items. So drop-down items dot map parse object and value. So value will hold every parse object that I have, and now let's add some brackets and have our return drop down item which will also be a string. And this will have two properties inside here. Value, which will get our value, dot get as we saw before, so we'll read a string property called name. And then we have the child, which will have a text widget, so text, that will once again get our value and read all the property name from inside it. Now all this must be converted to list, so the drop-down button will understand it, so dot to list. And there is one more thing that we should put in here. It is the onChanged property that will trigger every time I select a new item inside my list. So onChanged, and we are not actually doing anything because my purpose in here is to just display the data. So this should be good to go. If I have no mistypings in here, it should be good to run. So Flutter run. Let's get our simulator. Since I had some error in my drop down item, why would that be? So drop down item, oh, it's drop down menu item, should be. Now it should go. And now if I open my content, you'll see that I have Nicole, Alex, and Allison inside my drop-down button widget. So, Dullahan, I hope this answered your question. And if you have any questions or suggestions like Dullahan did, please leave it on the comment section down below. We always answer all the questions and try to implement everything so it will make your life easier. So if you found this video helpful, please click the like button and consider subscribing to the channel so you can help us grow. Also, share this link with a friend and they can learn something too. If you already subscribed, thank you for that. And please don't miss out our webinar about the future of the low-code platforms. It will be next Thursday, the 4th. There's a link in the description of this video where you can subscribe, and I'm sure we will learn a lot together. So hope to see you back soon. See you soon. Bye bye.